So this presents some challenges because and we'll cover these in the last part of the presentation, because there are a lot of factors which are which are very natural indicators of whether of the risk profile of the particular policy, but they pertain to the individual. But in India, we don't have data on the individual. So any kind of insurance that is done on the automobile is basically on the vehicle. So the factors that we can take into account are primarily only on the vehicle that is to be insured. Okay. So risk-based insurance pricing is primarily pricing, doing a differential pricing for different customers based on the likelihood of their having an accident and filing a claim. Okay. So the idea is that not everyone will have the same probability or the same risk of getting into an accident. So how can you analyze historical data to find out if certain groups are more prone to accidents, more prone to filing claims, and charge a higher premium to them? Okay, so this is something that happened about 6 or 7 years ago. The Indian insurance sector was actually opened up. Before that, legal regulations actually prevented companies from doing any kind of risk-based pricing. So insurance in India was very straightforward. Basically, there's something called IDV, which is the insurer's declared value, which is the value for which you will insure your car or your bike or anything. Okay, so insurance was basically a fixed percentage of that value. So regardless of where you live, what vehicle you're driving, any of those factors, there was a flat rate that was charged for everyone. About 7 years ago, the insurance sector opened up and companies were allowed to do risk-based pricing. So that's when they actually started thinking about, what's the data that we have and how we can leverage it to get some more insights and do a better pricing. So that's basically what this case study is about. And I'm going to keep it fairly simple. This data, even though we don't have hundreds or thousands of fields in the data, it can still get pretty complicated. There are a lot of variables that you can look at. For the purpose of this presentation, I've just focused on two risk determinants, two factors that are the most common or the most predictive of risk. This is basically your location and the model of the car. Okay, so.
Question.
Mm-hmm.
How did you know that these are the most predictive?
Well, I'll show you all the information that we have. And when we started off, of course, we treated each variable with equal importance. We didn't have any such bias. But based on what we've seen, so basically what we've done is we've worked on this case study, we've done this, and now what I've taken is a piece of it in order to keep it simple. Otherwise, it just becomes too technical. So I've taken the two variables that have come out statistically most significant in a majority of the cases. And so this is just a snapshot of just a glimpse of the kind of data that is there. Again, this data has been cleaned up. This has been we've simplified it. But essentially, you have a policy number which is a unique identifier for each policy, and you have information about the vehicle. You'll notice that there is no information about the driver here. That's again because legal regulations prevent the insurance company from collecting any such information, or even if they do collect it, using it for any kind of risk-based pricing. So you will only see vehicle attributes here. So you see the manufacturer, the model, the year in which the car was manufactured. The field IDV, where you see all these numerical values, is basically the value for which the car is insured for. Okay. Then you have the city, the state, the region, the amount of claim. Okay, so again, normally your policy data and your claim data are two different data sets. What we've done is we've just combined the two. So you can see for some of the policies there are claim values. So these are cars which entered into an accident and there was a claim that was filed, and this is the value that the companies paid. Okay, so this is all historical data. You can see the cubic capacity of the engine, whether there was a claim or not, the manufacturer model, and the last column here is the premium. This is the amount that the person is paying on an annual basis. This is the insurance premium. So this is basically the data that we had. Okay. And the typical modeling methodology, I'm sure all of you are, yes?
Where did you get the data from? From the insurance company?
Yes, yes. See, the data is from the insurance company that we work with. But obviously, for legal reasons, we've had to mask a lot of the data, and some of the insights that I will show you are not going to be accurate. We've swapped some values because those are things that we can't share. So the idea here is to give you an idea of how the methodology that we've built, rather than focus on the exact numbers and the statistics that you'll see here. So we followed the standard methodology. There's a problem definition. So there was a business problem that was given to us. How do you convert that into an analytical problem? This is obviously the first step for any kind of analytics project. You need to figure out what is it that you're modeling for, what is it that you're trying to predict. Also, in my experience, one of the trickiest parts of the whole process. This is where the projects either become really successful or they die off. Then you start with the data exploration piece. Then you prepare the data. Once you're familiar with the data, you prepare the data for the modeling, any kind of modeling approach that you're going to take. You build the actual model, validate the results of the model, implement the model, track the results, and of course, keep refreshing the model. So this is your standard modeling methodology. What I'm going to do is focus on the first 4 steps of this process, and primarily on the first 3 steps. How did we define the problem? How did we convert the business problem into an analytical problem? Data exploration, data preparation, and different kinds of modeling approaches that can be taken. So let's start with the first step of the process. Again, usually for most kind of analytics problems, this is the most interesting step. So problem definition. So this is basically the problem that was given to us by the business. Your premium is what the insurance company is charging for insuring the car. So this is what you're paying to the insurance company. Is X percentage of IDV. So premium is a fixed percentage of the value that you've declared for your car. Okay. This X is the rate that is assigned by the company. Essentially, what we have to do is determine the optimal level of X. Okay. So till now, the company has been using a flat rate X that they've been charging for all models, all locations, everything. Now, what they're trying to do is come up with different values of X for different models based on the risk profile. Okay, so this is essentially what the business told us. Now there are a couple of questions here. What is the revenue of the insurance company? So if I were to ask you, what is the revenue stream for the insurance company? What is it that they are making money from?
Insurance policy
from the premiums, exactly. So the revenue is, if we just simplify things for the sake of understanding, so the revenue for the insurance company is basically the premiums that are coming in, right? And what is the cost? Cost is the claims. Yeah. There is of course some administrative cost, marketing cost, and all of that. For the purpose of this analysis, we don't need to get into that. We have a very simplified situation where the premium is the revenue and the claims is the cost. Right? And so essentially the profit is the sum of all premiums that the company is receiving minus the claims that they are paying out. Right? And if we just manipulate this equation, so the premium essentially comes out to be the claim that is paid out plus the profit that you want to keep. Right? So essentially what is it that the company is trying to do? They are trying to predict. So in terms of the analytical approach, what we are doing is we are predicting the claim as a percentage of IDV. So what percentage, so if a car is insured for 100, what percentage of that is the expected claim, is what you expect to pay out. And once we've defined claim as Y percentage of IDV, then there's a delta that we can add to it, that's a business decision on what amount of profit they want to keep. And we can decide on X, right? So given the problem that the business had, this is how we just converted it into an analytical problem. So now the goal of our exercise is to predict claim as a percentage of IDV. Okay, so just some high-level data exploration. Any new kind of data, the first step that you will do is summarize the data in order to understand it. So this is a table where essentially we had 41,096 policies. This is the data that we had. Out of these policies, 7,702 had actual claims. And the total premium received by the company on these policies is 435 million rupees, 43.5 crores. The premium as a percentage of IDV at the macro level, aggregate level, is about 2.78%. So this is what the company is receiving. Total claims paid out 375 million. Claim as a percentage of IDV 2.4%. Okay. So essentially, this is what the company is doing. They are charging 2.78% of the IDV as the premium, and they are paying out 2.4% as the payout. Right. So this just gives us a sense of what the overall data looks like. This is very important because you need to have a very good sense of what the data looks like in order to find out what is unusual, what is different from the rest. Right. So again, this is a simplified version of the data. We have 12 models and we have 16 cities. So these are the 12 car models that are there across these 41,000 policies, and these are the 16 cities that are there.
We have about 5 minutes.
Okay. So we've done a little more of exploration. We're trying to figure out what's the frequency of each of these models. So Maruti WagonR is 18% of all the policies, most common. Mitsubishi Cedia is the lowest one. We do the same with the cities, just to get a sense of where the data is coming from, what values it has. The next step that we do is basically we rank order all the models on the basis of in terms of the claim as a percentage of IDV. Okay, so in the data we have the claim, we have the IDV. What we've done is we've just aggregated that, and for each model, what is the average claim as a percentage of IDV? We can see some very interesting trends here, very apparent. Hyundai Santro is the most profitable model for the company as an overall, at a macro level. 1.74% is what they are paying. They're charging, they're charging 2.84% on an average. So, just looking at this table, you can immediately see that the models at the top are highly profitable for the company. The models at the bottom are not profitable. The bottom three, in fact, are loss-making for the company, right? We've also classified them into low, medium, high. We've done the same with the cities. Again, you can see some trends. There are some cities which are highly profitable. There are some cities which are actually loss-making. And if you just look at the names, you can see that some of the smaller cities are very profitable. The larger cities tend to be unprofitable. Intuitively makes sense because the larger the city, the more the traffic, the more likelihood you have of getting into an accident. So immediately you can see, if you look at the previous table and if you look at this, the company should probably charge a higher price for SUVs. You can see Tata Safari and Scorpio there right at the bottom. So SUVs tend to be more risky than the rest of the population. Similarly, bigger cities tend to be more accident prone than the rest of the population. What we've done is we've taken a very simplistic approach here. We've clubbed all the models into high, medium, and low. We've clubbed all the cities into high, medium, and low, and we've just taken a 3x3 matrix: high, 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 medium, high, low, medium. Those 9 combinations, and you can clearly see the difference here in terms of what the company is paying out as a percentage of IDV. So for the company now, it makes sense to charge a higher rate for any Tata Indica or Honda Accord or Tata Safari or Scorpio that comes from these cities.